Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, along with Fred Altvater. We check in on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Hey, we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. Fred, hi, how are you today?
Hey, Carlos, I am I continue to be totally into this whole Super Golf League, Greg Norman, LIV Investments, Phil Mickelson. Oh, man. And then Phil goes and throws us a curveball yesterday, comes out with this big mea culpa and, oh, I'm so sorry, and this apology. And we got to talk about this, Carl. We got to talk about this. This is good stuff.
We have to, because we've been on this since the beginning. I mean, since ever we heard about the Super Golf League, or at least Greg Norman and everything that has been supposed and proposed about it. We've been covering it, and it's been really taking like a peek of what it's going to happen. And last week, we talked about Phil Mickelson and all that he said, or maybe he didn't say, was taken out of context. No, we don't know. We know what Phil Mickelson said. We know what Alan Shipnick said. But I don't know, at this time, he issued a lengthy statement, all right, yesterday, addressing the comments he made in an interview about plans for a Saudi-backed golf league to rival the PGA Tour. That's the supposedly Super Golf League. And he added that he desperately needs some time away from golf. Of course, I mean, if I would be on this, I need some long time away. At issue was an excerpt of the book author Alan Shipnick shared online last week. We talked about this. Mickelson called Saudi businessmen scary to get involved with. He admitted he was using their interest in launching a rival league as leverage to get players more money from the tour via enhanced media rights. Okay, that's what they said. He said all these things, and I think, and we commented about this the other day when all the other players started saying, I'm not going there. I think it backfired because apparently he said that we know they killed Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all this, why would anyone consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape the PGA Tour, how the PGA Tour operates. Those are really the main things that I can get from what he said or didn't say. But since those comments, and we comment about this, high-profile players that were expected supposedly, or at least had been closely tied to this new league, like Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau, they announced that they would remain on the PGA Tour rather than being swayed to the so-called Super Golf League. In Rory McIlroy, Cole Mickelson's comments, and I loved it when you said it the other day, egotistical and ignorant with the league dead in the water. But definitely in that 6-paragraph statement Tuesday, which of course it took some time to prepare, he did not directly acknowledge the PGA Tour, the Super Golf League, or his peers' criticism. But he hinted that Shipnick took off-the-record remarks out of context. It's real easy. That's usually happens. The media, you know how they are. They just want some news and some clicks. But Shipnick then took to Twitter to retort, saying Mickelson's assertion that he used off-the-record comments was completely false. So is you say, I say, Mickelson, Fred described his partnership with LIV Golf Investments, which is the Greg Norman-led group backed by Saudi money, as very positive. He thanked his partners, and without naming any specifically, he said he gave them the option to end or pause their relationships with Mickelson over the controversy. And KPMG, of course, the sponsor of Mickelson since 2008, hey, they took him up on it. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. So now this might be the first of many others. Fred, what do you think is about this mea culpa from Phil Mickelson?
Well, first of all, Carlos, I'm going to call BS, okay, on taken out of context And I really didn't mean to say that. Alan Shipnuck's been around for a while. Okay. He's not new to the business. Yes, he's kind of an inflammatory guy. He's always looking for that hot comment, right? Well, Phil gave him more than he probably bargained for there. Shipnuck, if you remember, is the guy that wrote the kind of inflammatory book about Tiger Woods. Took a lot of heat for that. But this is kind of what he does. So Phil has to know. He has to know, talking to Alan Shipnuck, that this is what they're looking for, and he just gave it to him in spades. So, I mean, it's just absolutely inconceivable, inexcusable that Phil would do that. So, a couple things here, Carlos. I mean, Phil's got everybody. He managed to piss off everybody, okay? Not just some people. I'm talking everybody. First of all, because of those comments, the Saudi government has to be just livid, okay? He's affected the LIV investments. He's affected Greg Norman. He's affected the Asian Tour. So those people are all completely mad at him, all right? He completely pissed off Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour because calling them, for their obnoxious greed and wanting those media rights, and I got to pay all this money out and all this kind of stuff, and trying to get guys to go to the Saudi-backed tour. That's number two. The players are pissed at him for stirring all this stuff up and trying to use that leverage. Guys like Rory McIlroy, like I told you in our last show, he comes out the big winner in this thing. He looks like a calm head and a real leader. Rory comes off really good in this thing. So Phil pissed off the players, and then he managed to piss off his sponsors because everybody's mad at him, and he looks really bad to the public. So I'll bet his wife is just screaming at him, Phil, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? What is wrong with you? I can just hear her. Okay. Phil's done some really dumb stuff in his life. We can go back and talk about some other stuff that he's done, but this pretty much takes the cake. This is really a home run for him. So, and Carlos, a couple things here. If Jay Monahan wanted to, I mean, he's got the power. He could completely expel Phil Mickelson right now. He could do that for conspiring with another tour against the PGA Tour. I mean, there's no question about it. Phil admitted in the statement that he did that. Okay. So that's number one. The other thing is, as I was telling you too, Phil had every door open to him. Every door. Everything was going his way. By winning the PGA Championship last year at Kiawah, new 5-year exemptions into all the majors on the PGA Tour. I mean, he was golden. He's already 51 going on 52. So, he's going to be 57 years old before he had to worry about where he was going to play or what he was going to do. So now he probably, and he had every door open. He probably could have he could have named his network and his price if he wanted a TV job. He was really good on TV. We saw that. He could have. Now, you think the PGA Tour is going to let him go near a TV set? No. He could get huge appearance fees in Asia or Europe. Well, maybe he still can do that. He still could probably travel around. He could probably still go play that Asian tour. And he has great sponsors. He's had long-term sponsors over the years, made millions and millions and millions of dollars from his sponsors. And he's managed to make them mad. And one of his major ones already left. So he's in major damage control mode right now. So, I'm sure the phones are burning up between Ponte Vedra and Phil's home there in Florida, where he lives now. But, Phil has one thing still going for him, okay? The PGA Tour owns the Champions Tour. They're always looking for a way to build that tour up. They're not happy. They don't make the kind of money there they'd like to make, and they like to figure out a way to make more. Well, Phil could help them out there, okay? Jay could say, listen, Phil, if you're serious about mending fences and you want to really help us out, get your butt out there on the Champions Tour, play the major championships, add about 5 other events, play about 10 events out there on the Champions Tour. That'll help us out. It'll bring us in a little bit more money on the old guys tour. That's what we need. So that's a bargaining chip that Phil may have, and then work his way back in, because he does have the exemptions. He's still a member of the PGA Tour, so he can still play pretty much where he wants to play. I mean, it's like, we've seen Vijay Singh have a lawsuit against the tour and still continues to play. I mean, guys kind of, extricate themselves and maybe get off in their own little area, but it's not maybe the old boys club that they are used to, but he still could play. He still could do some stuff, but boy, he sure put his foot in the mouth with this one.
Definitely did. And that's a good point that you make, because what is he going to do to, again, play somewhere? The Champions Tour is definitely something that the PGA Tour can say, hey, you want to get back, this is a good place for it. But the problem that I see for him is, and the real reason why he's taking this time off, it's not that he needs it. Of course, he needs it, that time off to golf, because anywhere he goes, he's going to be reminded of all this situation.
Oh, the media is just going to rip him. Rip him.
Like, and the thing is that the players in those tournaments are going to be asked, hey, Phil is playing here. What do you think about what he did and all that? So it's going to be a very big distraction. What's going to be wherever he goes. So he's going to have to be out for a couple of months trying to see how this dries up. But even when he comes back, he will still have to face these consequences. So what is he going to do? What he's going to have to do? I mean, his PR reps are going to have a big deal trying to make this up. This is going to be worse than remaking this image is worse than when Kobe Bryant went through that whole deal. But hey, if Kobe did it, maybe Phil can do it. At least Kobe was younger. But Phil, definitely what he did here is, I think, more damaging to his future, because sponsors do not want to be relating to him again. Who's going to stick with him? KPMG, his biggest sponsor, they say already, it's not going to happen. So Phil, definitely, we're going to be following this story, of course, moving forward, but definitely I don't see an easy way out, or maybe when a timeline that he can come back. What heck can he do? Maybe, like you're saying, sticking to the Champions Tour, which is a little lower profile, not as much coverage they get as the PGA Tour does, but definitely there's no TV in future. I don't think he can even go back to LIV right now and play in the Super Golf League, because they say, hey, after all you said, we don't want you, we don't need you. I mean, anyway, your image is already tarnished. So where is he going to go? What he's going to do? That's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a couple of months before we see him again in a golf course.
And Carlos, we got the big events coming up right now. I mean, we're just a week or so away from the Players Championship. Then we move right into the Masters, the PGA, the U.S. Open, and the Open, all in about the next 4 or 5 months here. These are the things that he really wants to play in. So, and he's eligible for. He's going to be playing in them, but he needs that practice. He needs those reps moving into those. So to be any kind of a factor. So I just got one word of advice for Phil going forward here. It's just, just a little thing, just kind of a word to the wise. Phil, if you get that invitation in the mail to the Saudi embassy for dinner, I would pass on that. I'd send my regrets. Didn't work out for that well for somebody else that's done that before. So just a thought there, Carlos.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept that either. But anyway, if there's anything that he can do, is really lay low and try to not, whenever he returns, just keep saying, I already said what I said. It is done. There's nothing else I can add. I just need to move forward now and try to amend, build bridges again. It's going to be a very tough thing, because the players right now are really, really mad at him for what he did. And whatever he wanted to do, I don't know what it was. Did he really did it with the intention of maybe really helping the players? I don't know, man. There's a conspiracy theory that says, well, maybe he did it that way. They knew about it. They wanted those better conditions. There might be some background negotiations that happened. I don't know. We don't know that. We'll see. I mean, if all of a sudden we see the PGA Tour coming with some new incentives and new things, maybe that was the case, or maybe not. But that's something to look for too. What the PGA Tour is going to come up now to keep the players, really thank them for staying with them and sticking with the PGA Tour.
Yep. I don't know where they go from here, Carlos. Anybody's guess is as good as mine right at the minute. But he obviously tried to do some stuff, and the players did not. Evidently, some of the big name players did not take kindly to it. So I don't know what he's going to do. He's got a lot of fences to mend. Looks like to me.
A lot of them. It's wow, fields of them. But anyway, thank you for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you the latest in the golf world news and information. Remember to subscribe to our channel so you keep up to date with every single video that we bring up to you. And the description is right there, down there. So anyway, thank you for joining us.